Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An hour of Western adventure this hour. First, we'll get a little later on. We'll head to Dodge City, Kansas, see what's going on with Matt-Dillon in Gunsmoke, starring William-Conrad. But right now, let's head to San Francisco and check in with John Dehner, starring as Paladin in an episode of Have Gun Will Travel. Both these episodes from January 24th, 1960.
Your husband made his choice 10 years ago. If I interfere now in this life he's made for himself, you are the one who will be hurt.
Have Gun Will Travel. Starring Mr. John Dehner as Paladin. San Francisco, 1875. The Carlton Hotel, headquarters of the man called Paladin.
Mr. Paladin, I say good night now. I turned down bed for you.
Thank you, Miss Wong. I'm ready for it, all right. Wears a man down to have somebody bare their soul to him.
Oh, you spent a long time talk with that man tonight.
Well, that man who was here is quite a famous surgeon, Miss Wong, from the East Coast. And you just learned that he has only 6 months to live.
Oh, too bad.
Now he's decided he better get his house in order.
Oh, time catch up, huh?
Uh-huh. He's a dying man, and suddenly his conscience has come alive.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, 10 years ago, through carelessness, clearly a matter of malpractice, he allowed a patient to die, and he placed the blame on a young doctor working with him.
Oh, most deceitful.
And there was no way the young doctor could defend himself. He had a very promising career, which naturally was ruined. He felt he had brought disgrace to his wife and family, so he left them. Just disappeared, and that was 10 years ago.
Long time.
Now, this man, this surgeon, wants me to find the young doctor. He wants to make it right. Thinks he can just wipe out the past 10 years.
You take job, Mr. Paladin?
Well, if he thinks he can buy absolution this way, it's all right with me. In my search for Amos R. Bradbury, M.D., I pursued false leads and wrong hunches for 2,739 miles and came to one decision: that I would never again leave the Carlton Hotel on any assignment more difficult than finding a needle in a haystack. After following a trail to the mouth of the Missouri River in Dakota Territory, which ended in another discouragement, I decided to give up and took passage downriver on the packet Yellowstone Belle. The small stern wheeler carried a cargo of fur pelts and one other passenger. His name was Benjamin Tubbs, a tough, grizzled old mountain man. The fourth day, as usual, we had tied up to the riverbank at sundown. Sometime before daylight, I awakened and went out on deck. My fellow passenger was standing at the rail.
I should have thunk any mush-head misbegotten son would have knowed better than to sit tight with a payload of skin stinking up his boat, holding out an invite this close to them hostiles.
I beg your pardon?
You might as leaf duck, mister.
An arrow.
Just keep down, mister. There's more coming.
This is Arikara country, isn't it? I didn't know they were hostile.
Used to be mostly friendly, but they got their dander up back a piece because they was cheated by some white fur traders.
Well, they want the cargo?
That and a few scalps.
Yeah.
There's only 8 of us on this tub, but there's about 600 of them Indians strung out along them riverbanks.
How can you tell? It's too black out there to see anything.
Why, it's my business, mister. I'm a scout.
Oh, I see.
I can smell them, and I know this isn't any time to sit still and argue. We got to get.
Hey, listen. You hear that across the other side?
Yeah. Why, them mean toad-eating varmints. They's putting into the water with their pirogues.
Yeah, they're going to surround us.
Looks like we're going to have to argue after all. Might as well break out the rifles.
Hey, Tubbs, they're using fire arrows.
Well, that's it, mister. One of them catches this here little old dried-up hunk of wood we're floating on, it's just gonna go up.
And one of them did. There goes the wheelhouse. I better get the water bucket.
No, it won't do no good. They's coming from all sides.
Yeah. Look, the crew's putting the skiffs in the water. Come on, let's give them a hand.
Wait a minute. I gotta get my orders in my cabin.
Your orders? Tubbs, come back! Tubbs, will you? Tubbs? Tubbs, will you? Tubbs! Tubbs, where are you?
Over here. Oh, God darn timber fell across my leg. It's got me pinned.
Here, let me get it off.
Oh, ain't no use. It's scorching hot, and I'm pinned down tight. Go on, get yourself off this tub.
No, I can... Get out there.
Oh, I tell you, ain't no use. Go on and get this leg. I think it's busted. I can't move.
Here, give me your arm.
Oh, easy now, easy. Sure deal, mister. But we get off this tub, we still got them sneaking redskins to take care of.
Well, one thing at a time. Let's go.
January 24th, 1960, Habgun Will Travel on Classic Radio Theater.
America's founders knew power corrupts, and ultimate power corrupts ultimately, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's why they built in checks and balances to prevent any one group from seizing all power.
And that's why our president is elected by a college of electors to protect the rights of little states like Delaware and Wyoming against giants like New York and California. After all, our country is a republic, the United States of America, not the United State. Our states are independent sovereign powers who created the federal government, not the other way around.
And that's why all power ultimately lies in we the people and the states, not a central dictatorship of cronies. Did you know that? Thank God for the U.S. Constitution.
Find out more how our amazing Constitution and Bill of Rights protect us, the citizens, against power-crazed politicians in Washington. Help us take back America. Go to ouramericanrights.com. Brought to you by the American Media Council.
You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. I am Wyatt Cox, and this is Habgun Will Travel, January 24th, 1960.
The burning Yellowstone bell made an eerie glow against the black of the night. The river was alive with shadowy dugouts, and the Indians were no longer silent, but shrill, now with their victory. Benjamin Tubbs and I slipped into the river, and with my arm across his chest, we went deep under the water to the far bank. I managed to pull him up on the marshy slope, and I half carried, half dragged him, and we fought our way through swampy jungle growth until I lost all track of time. Finally, we reached a rocky clearing, and the sun was high.
Mister, this is where Ben Tubbs is going to have to call quits. I just got to sit.
Ben, I don't see how you've been able to take it this far. Here, easy now. You can lean up against this rock here. There. I think we better take a look at that leg of yours.
Well, let me tell you, this your leg better not be giving me any trouble. I got my orders. I got a report for duty.
Who are you scouting for?
7th Cavalry.
Well, this leg doesn't look too good.
Well, it hurts like Billy B. Hey, look up there.
Yeah. Looks like an Indian pony.
Oh, one Injun. Must be 100 more like it. Just now, Benjamin Tubbs ain't got a lick of fight left in him.
That's an Indian, all right. Headed right toward us. It's a woman. It's an Indian woman.
Wow, no.
Wahi no moto.
Hey, no moto. Ohinyan.
You speak Sioux language?
No, I'm afraid that's about it.
Then I speak your language. From high place there on the rocks, I have watched you. You have need of help.
Oh, you sure hit it smack dab on the button that time.
May I offer to serve you?
Wait now, Injun gal. We ran into a peck of trouble with them Arikaras. You know anything about that?
I am not of that tribe. I know nothing. I am called Monasea.
Monasea, this is Benjamin Tubbs. My name is Paladin.
Sight of you sure put a shine on this morning. You're the prettiest little thing I ever did see.
Mr. Tubbs speak brave and happy words, but there is pain in voice. A man's leg does not lie crooked on ground like that. He must say doctor.
Yeah, well, how do we do that?
I have been on errand. I return to my home now. I take you there to a man of great wisdom as healer.
One of your medicine men?
One of your medicine men, Mr. Tubbs. He is of your people.
The white man? A doctor?
Yes.
What's his name?
His name is Wisaka Kiksuyapi.
Maybe that's his Indian name, but I mean his real name. His name is a white man. Now, what is it?
His name is Wisaka Kiksuyapi.
I see.
We must not delay. Already it will be nightfall before we reach village. Mr. Paladin, will you help me make splint for broken leg of Mr. Tubbs, so it will cause him less pain to travel?
Oh, you a nurse, Monasea?
I learn much from my husband.
Your husband?
Wisaka Kiksuyapi.
It's a good thing we lashed Ben to that saddle. It looks like he's fainted.
It is drowsiness from fever. It is not good sign, but it is merciful. He has endured much pain.
He's a tough old fellow. Say, Monasea.
Yes?
The reason I was interested in the name of this doctor, your husband.
Yes?
Well, I was hired to find a certain Dr. Amos Bradbury who left his home on the eastern coast of this country because of an injustice that was done to him. I followed his trail for many miles and finally to Fort Union here on the river.
What did you mean by injustice?
Well, the man who wronged him is dying and wants to make amends. Now, Bradbury had a wife and a child, and he felt that he had brought disgrace to them. But now the truth will be told, and his family and the world he left will learn that there was no dishonor.
And why do you tell me this, Mr. Paladin?
Well, Monasea, I've been thinking. It's been 10 years. The doctor has probably made a new life for himself. Perhaps he has found a pleasant place to live, someone to share it with him, and maybe he'd just as soon forget what's past.
Mr. Paladin, my husband's name as white man is Amos Bradbury.
Somehow I thought so.
His Indian name, Wisaka Kiksuyapi, is Sioux. It means man who remembers.
And so, like that, after all the days and all the miles, my search was ended. But it didn't seem to matter just then. More important at the moment was to see that Ben Tubbs got the care he needed. When we reached the Indian village, his condition was serious, and Monasea had some men carry him immediately to a little stone building set up as a hospital. She didn't mention the doctor again that night, nor did I. She bandaged my burned hand, gave me food and a blanket, and I spent the night under a cold sky. In the morning, I went to see Ben. He was lying on a narrow cot in a small, bare room. When he saw me, he made a quick brush at a big tear on his grizzled old face, scowled and cut loose.
That rubber-headed, stinking varmint. Rotten, dumb squat.
Ben.
Mister, you know what that doctor done? He cut off my leg, that's what he done.
He had to do it, Ben. It was your leg or your life.
What's the good of a life to a scout who ain't got two legs?
After a while, you'll be getting around again, just as tough as ever.
But I had my orders. I was on my way to report to the 7th Cavalry. Special scout, assigned to General George Custer. Can I be hopping one-legged after Sitting Bull?
Sitting Bull?
Darn tootin'. This time Custer's a going after Sitting Bull himself. I was aiming to be in on it, standing on my own 2 feet.
Well, there'll be other battles for you, Ben.
Oh, there ain't gonna be another battle with Custer and Sitting Bull.
Ben, maybe one of these days we can get together and make it up to you for Well, I have to find Monasea, Ben. I'll see you later.
Good morning, Mr. Paladin.
Good morning, Monasea.
Do you want to see my husband now?
Well, I've been looking for him a long time now, but I'm not quite sure whether I want to see him or not.
I do not understand.
Monasea, what I was trying to tell you last night, I don't think that I have any right to interfere in this life he's made for himself here. He made a choice 10 years ago. Maybe it's a good one.
Mr. Paladin, do you perhaps feel you not wish to go through with this because it will hurt Monasea?
Maybe.
I tell my husband last night about your search.
You did?
I tell him that he can return to his world now, that the way has been made for him to go in honor.
What did he say?
He say he not go.
Huh. You see?
Like you, Mr. Paladin. He not wish to hurt Monasea. Walk with me toward the river.
All right.
Do you see there the tall rock on the bluff?
Yes?
That is Inyan Waslata. It is the figure of a woman holding child.
Uh-huh.
My people have legend that a certain brave once took a second wife, and first wife became jealous. And when tribe moved on, she refused to follow but remained by her lodge, holding her child. And when many days passed, and still she had not joined them, the tribesmen became concerned and returned to look for her. And they found her sitting by her lodge, holding her child. But she had turned to stone.
Well, I'm afraid I don't understand
Wait. So the tribesmen picked up the stone figure, and they carried it back with them. And after that, wherever tribe moved, Inyan Waslata was carried along. She was always there, the image of the first wife and child.
Maybe I do understand.
Of course. Always in the life of Monasea is the image of first wife and child. Mr. Paladin, you do the job you set out to do. You take Dr. Amos Bradbury back to his world.
Oh, but what about you, Monasea?
My own village is farther upriver. I have a pirogue already stocked. I go to my own people now.
You mean right now? Without letting Bradbury know? Seems to me he should have something to say in this decision.
He is Wisaka Kiksiapi, Mr. Paladin. The man who remembers. The image of the first wife and child is always in his life, too.
Monasea.
Yes?
You can count me as the man who remembers where you're concerned.
Not the Imhun, Mr. Paladin.
Not... what does that mean?
Good hunting.
Not the Imhun to you, Monasea.
Mr. Paladin, welcome home.
Hello, hey boy. Would you get my bag on the seat there, please?
Oh, Isa. You've been gone a long time. Have a nice trip?
Well, I did what I was hired to do. I went in search of a man. I found him. And he seemed grateful that I had. He rejoined his family. I hope it was the right thing.
You hope? You don't know?
Nope.
Why?
Well, hey boy, if I hadn't found him, a very lovely woman would still have much happiness in her heart, rather than sadness.
Oh, who is this woman?
I'll explain it to you later, hey boy. Take the bag out to my room, will you please?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to stop in the bar. I'll be there for a while.
Well, good hunting, Mr. Paladin.
Good hunt. Not aim hun. Well...
Have Gun Will Travel. Created by Herb Meadow and Sam Rolfe, is produced and directed in Hollywood by Frank Paris and stars John Dehner as Paladin, with Ben Wright as Hayboy and Virginia Gregg as Miss Wong. Tonight's story was specially written for Have Gun Will Travel by Ann Dowd. Featured in the cast were Joseph Kearns and Lillian Baeff. This is Hugh Douglas, inviting you to join us again next week when CBS Radio presents Have Gun Will Travel.
The only radio show we know of adapted from a television show, Have Gun Will Travel, January 24th, 1960 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And coming up in just a few moments, Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if you just have a plan you're not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. There are hundreds of thousands of members, and they love it. MediShare has a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and this is obviously huge. The typical family saves around $6,000 a year switching to MediShare. Find out more. They're great to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
The first of the year bedding sale at MyPillow.com. Half price on the MyPillow sleepwear, the Giza Dream Sheets, the 2-inch mattress toppers, a MyPillow for the rest of your body. Also, blankets, quilts, and comforters. All half price right now. When you go to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio Listener Square, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. The MyPillow bedding sale going on now. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. This episode originally broadcast January 24th, 1960.
I swear, Mr. Dillon, that cussed Hayes City kindly reminds me of a puffed-up horny toad.
How's that, Chester?
Well, what I mean is, it's all blowed up clean out of proportion. People running around every which way, nobody knowing where they're running to.
Well, I guess that's what happens when a town grows fast.
Well, I'd just soon spend a week in a buffalo war. Hey, Mr. Dillon, look yonder.
Yeah, I see him.
Seems like them folks' wagon broke down, don't it?
Uh-huh. Well, come on, maybe we can give him a hand.
Hello there.
We saw you were having trouble. Came over to see if you could use some help.
Much obliged to you for that, mister. Treadwell's my name. Cole Treadwell, and this is my missus, Beth Ann.
Hello.
How do you do?
Glad to know you. I'm Matt Dillon. That's Chester Proudfoot.
How do you do? A real pleasure. Say, you're the marshal in Dodge, aren't you?
That's right.
Now, isn't that something? We're headed there.
Oh, that so?
That wheel hadn't froze up. I expect we'd be there by now.
Well, you could still make it before dark if the wheel's all right.
Oh, yeah, it's fine now. I cooled it off and greased it up good as new. Trouble is, it's a mite heavy for me to set back on. One man just can't get the job done. Well, 3 of us won't have no trouble, Mr. Treadwell.
How about a cup of coffee before you men start breaking your backs?
Beth Ann's a great gal for making coffee. The minute we stop, she gets a pot on the fire. Well, it's got a right good smell to it.
Well, there's plenty of it, too.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. I sure wouldn't want to pass up a good cup of coffee. I don't get one very often.
What? There you are, Marshal. Mr. Proudfoot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. That is good. Hey, you folks just traveling through?
You might say so, Marshal. We do a lot of that. Traveling, I mean. Stopping a town here and a town there. Well, you mean you ain't got no home or nothing? Oh, someday we'll find ourselves a place that seems right. Then I guess we'll settle down for good.
You see, my husband is a parson.
Well, I declare. Now, Beth Ann, you shouldn't have said that.
Oh, what's wrong with being a parson, Mr. Treadwell?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it, Marshal. It's just that I'm not truly a parson. I'm not ordained, never had the proper schooling.
Oh, Dodge City is one place that could use a parson, ordained or not.
You know, Cole and I have always wanted to see Dodge City.
Well, there's some mighty nice folks in Dodge, ain't there, Mr. Dillon?
Sure.
They're nice people everywhere.
Hold on now, Beth Ann. You start lecturing the Marshal and Mr. Proudfoot, they may change their mind about helping me with that blame wheel.
Well, my apologies.
Thank you for the coffee, Miss Treadwell.
It was our pleasure, Marshal.
Well, come on, let's get to work on that wheel, or it'll be dark before we hit Dodge. You go on and let Nate Bush out of jail, Chester. He should be sober by now.
Well, you want me to take care of the horses first, Mr. Dillon?
No, I'll do it. I want to talk to Moss about a saddle he has down there at the stable.
All right, sir. Oh, will I give Nate his gun back?
Yeah, might as well. I'll see you later.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's about time you come back and let me out of this flea fan.
You got any fleas, Nate Bush? You had them long before you got those in that cell.
How come you gone so long anyways? I could starve to death.
Oh, if you wasn't so ornery, you wouldn't be in jail in the first place. And besides, Delmonico's brung your meals while we was gone.
Delmonico's. Call that slop food. I wasn't fit for a hog.
I wish you had it. It's your concerned pleasure to get rid of you.
Yeah. Well, just you let me tell you something, Chester Proudfoot. You ain't rid of me. No, sir. Not by a long sight, you ain't.
And just what's that supposed to mean?
I got a special hate for smart Alex.
Well, if you got such a special hate, you better tell Mr. Dillon about it. He's the one who throwed you in here.
And you was the one who told him I was raising a ruckus. You was the one who caused me to be here.
Well, now, that's the craziest piece of thinking I ever heard.
All the same, you just better watch yourself, because I might have a score to settle with you next time we meet.
Chester, now that I've finished my coffee, I think I should tell you something.
Hmm? What's that, Doc?
The bear grease you put on your hair is running down the back of your neck.
I'm afraid he's right, Chester.
That ain't bear grease, Miss Kitty. Huh? That's rose pomade from the tonsorial parlor. I paid Mr. Teeters 15 cents for that bottle.
15? Well, you were cheating. Besides, why put on so much of the stuff?
Well, it's my dang colic up there. I've been having trouble keeping it down.
Well, I think you got it beat now, Chester.
Chester, where in the world are you headed for, all dressed up that way? Black coat, boiled shirt. Must be something pretty special, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, it is. You know, Mr. Treadwell's been mighty busy, and he asked could I escort Miss Treadwell to a prayer meeting.
Oh, well, then, no wonder you're so slicked up.
Yeah, she's a mighty attractive woman.
And a good cook, too.
And he's the best checker player in town. He beat me last night.
Well, I do declare. I didn't know anybody could do that. It beat you, I mean. Not as sly as you are.
Sly? Just what do you mean by that?
Nothing. Well, I better be going. Don't want to keep Miss Treadwell waiting. Thank you for the breakfast, Doc.
You're welcome, Chester. But next time, no rose pomade.
It's nice of you to escort me, Mr. Proudfoot.
I sure do wish you'd call me Chester, Miss Treadwell. Everybody else does.
Well, all right, Chester.
I swear I think the whole town turns out now when they hear that school bell of a Sunday. I never seen nothing like it.
Oh, it's wonderful the way everyone's treating us. Letting us use the schoolhouse for a church and all.
Well, my land, it was just going empty on Sundays.
You know, if we could build a home and settle somewhere, Cole could finish his schooling and then truly become a minister.
Well, you ought to settle in Dodge. You've been here more than 6 weeks already, and folks would be mighty disappointed if you was to up and leave.
Well, we have been thinking about it.
You. Chester.
Who in the world is that?
Chester.
Just keep on walking, Miss Treadwell. Don't pay no attention to him.
I'm talking to you,
Hey, now,
Chester.
look
I
here.
told you I was going to fix you, and now I'm ready. Think I'll start by pinching your nose off.
Nate, you better just go on along.
Hey, who does you got with you? Well, what a little thing, ain't she?
Miss Treadwell, you best go on without me.
Oh, ain't you brave now? You're going to send the lady away so she won't see no blood, is that it?
You're a bully, Nate. And you're drunk, too, and you don't scare me one bit. But this is a lady I'm with, and you keep talking like you are, and I'm going to kick your belly right out through your backbone.
Please, Chester, don't fight on my account. Let's walk on.
Well, I'm not going to stand by you. All right, ma'am.
You sure a mighty big talker, Chester. But that's all you are, just a talker.
Feller sure does need a lesson.
Don't you pay any attention to him, Chester. A fight doesn't prove a thing.
Maybe not, but it sure would make me feel better.
The conclusion of Gunsmoke from January 24th, 1960 is next on Classic Radio Theater.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if, like a lot of people, you just have a plan you're not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. It's a Christian healthcare sharing program. There are more than 400,000 members now, and they love it. In fact, MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate compared to that of health insurance. And MediShare really is the gold standard when it comes to healthcare sharing. It's been around more than 25 years. Members have shared more than $4 billion of each other's medical bills. Plus, MediShare is for you. It has saved its members billions by advocating on their behalf. Best of all, the typical savings for a family is around $6,000 a year. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. MediShare has a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and you are invited to be part of it. Call now. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, the conclusion of Gunsmoke, January 24th, 1960.
There you are. Will there be anything else now, Miss Treadwell? Got some real nice calico here.
Oh, my, that is pretty, but... no, I don't think so.
I'll give you a real good price on it. 5 cents a yard.
Well, maybe just 2 yards.
You won't be sorry. Oh, be with you in just a minute, sir.
I want some 44 shells.
Yeah, as soon as I finish here.
I want them now.
You'll have to wait till I finish waiting on Mrs. Treadwell.
Mrs. Treadwell? Ain't I seen you somewhere before?
I'll take my packages now, Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, now I remember. You was with Chester the other day.
Now, listen here, boy.
Shut up, storekeeper.
May I get by, please?
Oh, now you ain't gonna run off and leave me, are you, ma'am?
Please move out of the way and let me by, Mr. Bush.
Why for? You ain't got no Chester with you now. Ain't nobody else around fool enough to tell me what I can do.
Well, there's me.
There's you? Just what do you think you could do, storekeeper?
Nobody talks to Miss Treadwell that way, Bush. Not in my store or anywhere else.
That a fact. And you know, Miss Treadwell, you are beginning to interest me. You really are. Seems like most everybody want to protect you all the time. Now, maybe there's a good reason for that.
Hello, Mr. Jonas. Hello.
Oh, Cole.
Well, is something wrong?
Take me home, Cole.
What is it?
Nothing. Please, Cole.
Hey, hold up there. Cole is the first half of your name. What's the last half?
Who are you?
Bush. Nate Bush. I asked you what's your last name.
Treadwell?
Treadwell. You her husband?
That's right.
Huh. You dressed like maybe you're a preacher. Is that what you are?
That's right.
Ain't that something? Hey, you better watch his little wife of yours preach. I seen her out running around with the man the other day.
Be careful, Mr. Bush.
And you know, I was even thinking buying her a drink just now myself. I bet she'd have took me up on it, too. You hadn't have come in.
You ought to be running out of town, Bush.
Just who's going to do that, storekeeper? You? Or a preaching man? Now, you know, I got me a notion to take little Miss Uppity out here with me right now. Just so that I can see which one of you peacemakers is going to stop me.
Come on, Beth Ann, we're leaving.
Hold up.
Take your hand off
I ain't finished talking to you.
Yes, you are, Mr. Bush. You're through.
Get your hand.
Sorry you made me do that, Mr. Bush. But I want you to understand something. Nobody mistreats my wife. Nobody insults her. Mr. Jonas, I'll pay for any damages. Nah, you forget about it, Parson. It was worth it just seeing that. Come on, Beth.
Hold it right there, preacher.
Cole.
I don't carry a gun, Mr. Bush.
That's the only reason you ain't gonna die now. But you're gonna get a bullet in both your legs. Maybe it'll keep you from standing up preaching for a while.
You better think real careful before you pull that trigger, Bush. Because the second you pull it, I'm gonna blow you in two with this shotgun. Now, you put that gun back in your holster real easy.
I sure ain't gonna argue with no scattergun, storekeeper.
Now, you get out of here. When you walk out that door, you better just keep right on going. Because if anything happened to the Treadwells, you might find yourself hanging from a tree.
I got me something to say to Mr. Treadwell.
Now, you just did that.
That's all right, Mr. Jonas. Let him speak.
There's something about you. I seen you somewhere before. I can't remember where. But I don't think you was no preacher.
You want some of this miserable coffee I make, Mr. Dillon? At least it's hot.
Oh, well, thanks, Chaucer.
Say, did you hear about the fracas Parson Treadwell and Nate Bush had in Mr. Jonas' story yesterday?
Mm-hmm, I heard.
I sure would like to have saw that.
Well, I guess Bush got what was coming to him.
You ought to be run out of town.
Hey, Marshal.
Speak of the devil.
What's on your mind, Bush?
Tell you what's on my mind. That preacher, Treadwell?
Well, what about it?
Well, he ain't no preacher, is what, and his name ain't Treadwell. His name is Trankin, Cole Trankin. He's a wanted man, Marshal. He's a gunfighter.
Well, if that ain't the craziest thing I
Look,
ever
Bush,
heard.
you've been nothing but trouble ever since you came to Dodge. Why don't you get out of
Well,
here?
now, it's true, I tell you. I've been thinking on it all night till it finally come to me. Look, Marshal, I served time once, a long time ago. Arizona Territorial Prison.
Well, I ain't surprised to hear that.
And Cole Trankin was there, and he busted out of that prison. And this is him, Marshal. This here Cole Treadwell. He's the one.
Get out of here, Bush.
Huh? All right, Marshal. But you ought to check on what I told you, because it's sure enough true.
Well, I declare, I never heard such a tale in all my life.
Now, he's mad, Chester, because of that beating Cole gave him.
Yes, sir, but there sure ain't no truth in what he says. Are they? Mr. Dillon? Well, you sure don't believe him, do you?
I don't know.
Well, I sure wouldn't believe nothing Nate Bush told me.
No. But would you believe what the Arizona Territorial Prison told you?
I guess you do have to check, don't you, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to check.
There he is, Mr. Dillon. Out working in the yard.
Yeah.
Hello, Matt. Chester, what are you two doing out here?
We came out to see you, Cole.
Come on inside. I'll have Beth Ann make some coffee.
Maybe you better read this first.
Telegram?
Mm-hmm.
Cole Trankin escaped from his prison 8 years ago. Still at large as date. Your description, Cole Treadwell, fits.
Nate Bush said that he's seen you in prison.
I guess I shouldn't have hit Nate like I did. He said he'd get me.
You mean you are Trankin? And you did escape from prison?
Do you have to take me in?
I'm sorry, Cole.
I didn't do what they said. I was innocent.
I'm not the judge of that.
No. No, of course not. Matt, what about Beth Ann?
You mean she doesn't know about this? But you're being Trankin?
She came from gentle people. She's never known me as anything but a traveling preacher. I couldn't tell her. I just couldn't.
Well, you're going to have to now, Cole.
I know, but please let me do it alone. If it came any other way, it would kill her. I know it would.
Will you come down to the office afterwards?
As soon as I talk to Beth, I promise you I'll come.
All right, Cole. Come on, Chester.
Matt?
Now, come on in, Cole.
I couldn't tell her. I just couldn't do it.
She has to find out, you know that.
No, it'll kill her if she knows.
Don't make it worse than it already is, Cole.
All my life, I wanted to be a minister. Ever since I can remember. But my pa and brother, they didn't hold with preaching, so they taught me to use a gun. As soon as I was old enough to hold one, they taught me.
Did they teach you good?
Too good, maybe. I got in some scrapes later on, and then I was put in prison for killing a man, only I didn't do it.
And after you broke out, you turned to preaching, huh?
That's right. For the first time in my life, I started doing what I really wanted to. And it's been that way ever since. I've done a little good, I think.
You have in this town. Other people are going to be disappointed.
Matt, do they have to know? Does anybody? Can't you send a telegram to Arizona and tell them I'm not tranking?
You know I can't.
I only came back here to your office because I promised you I would. Now I'm going to ask you just one favor. Let me get Beth Ann and leave Dodge. Give us a head start. That's all I ask. Just that one favor, please.
I'm sorry, Cole.
Beth Ann's not going to know. I won't let her know.
There's no way to keep it from her, not now.
There's one way.
Now, don't be a fool.
I'm good with a gun, Matt. Don't try to stop me.
Even if you kill me, do you think Beth Ann won't find out?
I'll keep it from her somehow.
Don't do it,
I'm
Cole.
sorry, Matt. Been a long time since I used a gun. Matt?
Yeah?
Don't tell him, Matt. Please. You can make up a story. Anything, only don't tell her.
I'll try, Cole. I'll try real hard.
You're funny. All my life, I could face anything. Anything at all, but...
But what am I going to say to her, Cole? You didn't tell me.
Why, hello, Marshal. Cole's gone into town for a while, but he should be back soon. You just come right on in, and I'll make you some coffee.
Miss Treadwell,
What is it? Something wrong?
there was an accident.
Accident?
Cole's dead, Miss Treadwell.
Oh, no.
Cole was with me. I was cleaning my gun, and I went off.
Cole. Oh, Cole.
How can I tell you how sorry I am?
Marshal, how long have you been using a gun?
What?
10 years? 20? And you left a bullet in the chamber while you was cleaning it?
Well, Yes, that's what happened.
You're lying to me, Marshal.
Miss Treadwell,
You found out, didn't you? About Cole breaking out of prison.
You mean you knew all about it?
That's what happened, isn't it? You had to shoot it out with him. Why did he do it, Marshal? Why?
He didn't want you to know. He took a chance of dying rather than let you know.
That's kind of funny. I knew about it before we were married. The only thing Cole ever kept from me. And it was the only one thing I wanted him to tell me. I hoped, I prayed he'd tell me. Then everything would have been all right.
Yes, ma'am, I guess so.
But now he'll never be able to tell me. Really, Marshal.
January 24th, 1960, Gunsmoke on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream. Find out all the information you need to know about our program. Thank this station, support their advertisers. Tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.